It's incredibly difficult to spot your own uniqueness.
Why?
Because it's hard for us to see the value of our position in the world to other people because we're too busy being consumed with how we see the world. So that's not a bad thing, that's a normal thing, is we're constantly evaluating how the world is happening to us. It's very difficult to go into someone else's shoes and understand how we're occurring to them.
How we show up to them.
Yeah. And then to take that to a whole other level to say, how could I best occur to them? And so it's almost impossible to find your uniqueness yourself.
How could I best serve them?
Yeah. Now the quote that you guys put from me on the banner, which had less to do with the talk that you just heard today, is you were our first client. I don't know if everybody knows this. Brand Builders Group would not exist if it were not for Lewis. Lewis called us like as we were exiting our last company and was like, hey, do you have any time open? And it was like, pretty open. But here's the thing. He said, this is your new business. What you have done for me is what so many people need help with because it's almost impossible to do it for ourselves. And so anyways, we started the company. We've now taken 600 people through it. You know, a lot of our friends, Ed Milet and people we've talked about, Eric Thomas, et cetera, are people we've done strategy for. But 600 clients for different things. Usually those people are mostly around their book launches. But we've had 600 people come through this process. And we figured out if there's a shortcut to finding your uniqueness, what we trained our strategists was that we started to see this recurring pattern and this recurring theme, which is that you're most powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So give me like 3 examples.
Okay, so let's use you as an example, right? So part of what we talked about that day is part of what makes great marketing is that you market the problem, not just the solution, right? Think of the talk I just gave. Half the talk is about procrastination, half the talk is about discipline. Problem, uniqueness, problem, solution. So before we worked together, I don't think you were super clear on the problem you solved. You've always been super clear that greatness is what you're creating for people, but when you came, we took you through the process, we got super clear that self-doubt is the problem you solve in the world.
Overcoming self-doubt, because a lot of people face self-doubt.
Yes, but the reason it's your uniqueness is because it's what you overcame.
Right.
It's what you deal with. You were made fun of. You weren't good at school. Like, you have gone through so many episodes of self-doubt. The fact that you've been able to move on in spite of that is what makes you a messenger for the world on that problem. And that is what I think is a part of what has unlocked some of what's happened the last few years.
Yeah. That's really cool. So 2 more examples if you're like in a fitness example.
Yeah, well, let's just use let's use some examples of people who are not clients of ours. Okay? So one of my favorite examples, I know you know her, I don't even know her, is Brene Brown. Brene Brown fans in the house, yeah. So she has become one of the most influential people in the world. Like one of the most influential people in the world in a few short years. But Brene Brown never set out to be a speaker or an author. She dedicated her life to solving a problem, which can be captured in one word: shame. She dedicated her life to solving that problem, shame. And she came up, and she has a one-word solution for that, which is vulnerability. Another mutual friend of ours is Dr. Josh Axe, right? So he built draxe.com. It's like the top natural health website in the world, 17 million monthly unique visitors. He has a 9-figure company. Dr. Axe came up with a 1-sentence message: use food as medicine. His whole brand, the whole company, use food as medicine. Why? Because his mom got cancer, and he wanted to cure his mom. That's it. So your uniqueness is activated and it comes alive when we connect into your past story. And that's, how
you've worked intimately with a lot of the top entrepreneurs, influencers, personalities in the world on helping them develop this. Some public names people know about, some private names.
Yeah, there's some clients we can't say their name yet.
And then also just a lot of inspiring people that maybe aren't as well known. But what is the thing that holds back the biggest names? You don't have to mention anyone, but what's the thing that holds them all back from getting to the next level, getting clarity about their vision for their brands and their future? What is the common theme that you see?
I think most of us, and I can certainly speak for me, growing up in a trailer park, single mom, didn't have money, much of my life, I always just sort of assumed that the people on stage or the people on TV or the people with the money or the people in the nice neighborhood, I always assumed there was something different about them than about me. And then everything changed. Like Steve Jobs had this great quote or something, I'm going to butcher the quote, but it was something to the effect of, the day that you realize that the entire world around you was created by people who are no smarter than you, everything changes.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's what it is there's people in the audience right now where you're going, I am called to something great. But you think that it's not available to you because there's something that you're missing. There's something that some other people somehow have that you don't. Mm-hmm. And the only thing they have that maybe you don't is the willingness to take action in spite of that fear, right. To invest, to learn, to ask questions. I mean, look where you've gotten by asking questions. Like there's a great line in Take the Stairs, not to quote myself, but to quote myself. There's this story about a woman who was in a burning building, and she was afraid of heights, and she was trapped on this high floor in this burning building, and the firefighter came up, and she was like crouched under this desk, terrified, and he's going, wait, man, we got to get out of here. We got this building is about to burn down, and she's going, I can't, and he's like, why not? And she's like, I'm scared of heights. Like I cannot look in the stairwell. I can't do it. I'm too scared. And she wouldn't move, and he's like trying to pull her, and she's like, I can't, I'm too scared. And then he said, that's okay, do it scared. Do it scared. You can be scared, do it scared.